Hi, and welcome to the Yes Perfect podcast, where we talk about everything but politics. My name is Chris of ChrisCrossMedia, and I'm just going to go down the line. You guys can introduce yourselves.
Well, Joey.
I'm Matt.
I'd be Vinnie.
That was the most magical, wouldn't you guys say the most magical intro we've ever done?
It's pretty great.
What?
I don't know, man. Last week's was pretty good.
That was magical on a different level. We're going to talk about Disney, everything Disney, the parks, what we love, what we hate, and what's going on over there, especially with the pandemic going on. So let me throw it to Vinny. Vincent,
Right.
You like Disney. I'm going to ask you, because the first time I ever met you, you were at the parks, and you wrote, how many times did you go on the Guardians Tower?
4, I think, in a row, too.
In a row.
Yeah, it was a lot.
It's
worth it. It was so good. No, I think I just waited in the regular line.
Wow.
It's like, I don't have anything to do. I might as well kill some time.
Was that your favorite ride?
It's one of them, yeah. It's pretty close.
What would
So
you say
top.
is your favorite then?
Are we doing top 3 or top 5?
Yeah. I think we're going to go down. I just want to hear what everyone's favorite ride happens to be.
If we're talking California Adventure, it's probably the Incredicoaster, but by a slim margin.
Do you like the
If
Incredicoaster
we're talking
better
Disneyland,
you like it better than the California Screaming version?
I do.
Yeah.
And if we're talking about Disneyland, it's a really tough one because a lot of them are so good.
Mm-hmm.
Probably would have to give it by a really slim margin to Space Mountain.
Have you ever been to Disney World before?
I have not. The furthest I've ever been out of California is Colorado.
Okay. Yeah, if you ever go over there, their Space Mountain, I actually like a little bit better.
I kind of want to.
Yeah, you would dig it.
Yeah.
Joey, what about you?
God. So I think my favorite ride. Should we just go like California Adventure than Disneyland, or?
No, man. I want to hear just top 5 both parks.
Oh, top 5 both parks.
Yeah.
Got Guardians,
It's
Mission
hard.
Breakout.
No, all right, really quick. Guardians, or do you like the original Tower of Terror?
Guardians.
All right, that was quick. It's because you're a huge Marvel fan, though, so that makes more sense.
I went on Tower of Terror once before it closed.
Okay.
So like I never really got to experience it for what it was.
Right.
I missed it. So I like Guardians better just by that. But I did like Tower of Terror when I went on that. Maybe it was twice. I just feel like it was shorter though.
I mean, the Guardians overlays was fantastically done. The theming's fantastic.
But yeah, so Guardians, Space Mountain, Big Thunder. Is that 4? Winnie the Pooh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Those are all very different rides.
Representing Winnie the Pooh over here.
Fuck yeah.
Nice to hear it.
Vinnie the Pooh.
Man, I wish.
We
Never mind. I'm not going to say that.
Vinny, do you want to tell the story?
No,
Winnie
you
the Pooh?
tell it.
Okay. But before I do the story, I'm literally just spinning on my second monitor, reading them. God, my top 5. Ooh. What's my favorite?
I mean,
think
your
the first
top
one
5, it doesn't have to be in order, but if you want, you can.
Well, let's see. Last time I went, which is a couple years ago, I rode Space Mountain for the first time, because before that I was like 12 or 13. So, Space Mountain's in my top 5. I say it's probably... I think the first one I rode was Matterhorn, so I think that's 2. Matterhorn's 2, Space Mountain's 3. The Cars is probably my favorite, just because I've always been a big Cars person, so like the fact that you're in a car is pretty nice. I've still yet to not get Ramon. I haven't got the other one yet twice. I've also lost twice, so I'm bad luck. That's probably number 1. Thunder Mountain, yeah, that's up there. And then Vinny knows this one, the Golden Zephyr, Vinny. Another
Representing.
another meme that me and Vinny have done.
Underrated ride.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to hear the story behind the Winnie the Pooh thing.
Yes.
So the Winnie the Pooh
sounds
thing.
Great.
There's two. I have one for my family, and Vinny has one for his story. I'll let him tell his. But mine is, we were again. Like I said last time I went, not counting time a couple years ago. We were 13, and we were in. When you're 13, you haven't been there since you were like a kid. You used to ride everything, and being teenagers, we're like, yes, let's ride Winnie the Pooh because the line's short. It's AC. It's nice. We can sit down for like 3 minutes.
Plus,
So
we
we
love
get
Winnie
in.
the Pooh.
Plus, Winnie the Pooh's pretty good. So, obviously, you know, when you walk in, the door opens, and there's another secondary door to basically get rid of all the lights. So the first door closes, and I'm just sitting there like, I'm 13, I'm riding Winnie the Pooh. The AC's nice, whatever, I'll chill out. And the second door closes, and my dad screams the shrillest, high-pitched voice and screams loud. And we die. We're laughing so hard, and then you hear over the overcom, please do not scream on the ride.
It just made it worse. It made it so much funnier.
So much worse. So we laughed so hard, and you can tell. Think about this: most of the Disneyland people who like work the rides are probably obviously in the college age. So can you imagine sitting there? It's like 1 o'clock, so you've probably been there for like 4 or 5 hours, and you have someone scream on Winnie the Pooh. How like absolutely you're just like, this is the worst day ever. So that's what I'm trying to think about that. And then yeah, Vinny, do you want to do the Golden Zephyr or should I?
You do the Golden Zephyr one. I'll tell my Winnie the Pooh story after.
Yeah. So the Golden Zephyr is basically the. So I think it was what me, you, and our 2 sisters were on it. Or was it just me and you? No, I think it was just me and you.
It might have been.
I think it was just me and you, and we just got off. God, what did we get off? We probably got off what, Toy Story or something, whatever's around there.
Something like that.
We got off something over there, and I said, "Vinny, let's go on this one." Vinny's like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" Just because we're just sitting there. It's California Adventure. It's like a Thursday. No one's there. It's super early because we hit California Adventure that day, and we get on it. I'm like, "Hey, Vinny, we're gonna pretend that's the rowboat." So we row it around in a circle. And I start laughing, so Vinny starts laughing. And one thing that I didn't notice until I got off is our parents were obviously laughing, our family, but everyone who saw us was dying. They were dying.
I gotta add another story about doing something on a ride that caused everybody around the ride to laugh hysterically.
Yeah. So it's very nice. Disneyland obviously has that, magical feel, but when you get teenagers to do stupid shit like that just makes it so much funnier.
Makes it so much better.
All right, Vinny, your Winnie the Pooh story.
All right, so I'll start with my Winnie the Pooh story, and then I'll start with the other one. Okay, so basically, me, my mom, and my sister were all going to go to get on Winnie the Pooh, and the cast member misjudged that we could all 3 of us fit in one row. Spoiler alert, no, we cannot. Wasn't even close. My sister and my mother barely fit in one row, and as soon as I saw them in the one row, I'm like, yeah, no, I can't fit in there, sir. And they didn't just shift anybody around to be like, oh, you can just sit with a stranger. No, we're going to keep you here. So they let about 4 or 5 more loads go through, and they finally asked me, like, do you still want to ride? I'm like, yes, I do. If I didn't want to ride, I wouldn't be standing here. So basically what happened was I got the honeycomb all to myself. So I'm riding around in Winnie the Pooh, and I'm having the time of my life because, I'm in the honeycomb by myself. I don't have to, like, worry about anybody else, so I have my own commentary and shit going on. It's absolutely supreme. But I'm coming out of the final door before you loop back into the station, and I get this really fun idea. It's where I'm gonna do a pose as I'm coming out of the final door because it's almost certain that my mom and sister are waiting for me. So I'm like, I'm gonna make them laugh. So what I did was I basically it's hard to describe the pose, but I had my arms outstretched, and I was just. I'll show you. I can turn my camera on and show you the pose in a bit, if that is preferred. But I went out of that. I went out of the door with that pose on, and the last thing I remember seeing was my mom and my sister dying of laughter. It made me feel so good. I'm like, I am the king of the honeycomb. I shall exert my dominance over it.
And thus you became Vinnie the Pooh.
Yeah, exactly. That was the day. That was the day it happened.
Has anyone ridden Winnie the Pooh 20-something times in a row, though?
Have you?
No.
Oh my god.
I did that when I was, 7.
Oh God.
On our last
Wow.
day at Disneyland, my mom's like, "What do you want to do?" And I'm like, "Let's go on Winnie the Pooh." It's like, "Okay, what else you want to go on?" Winnie the Pooh. We literally just kept hopping right back in line, and there was no wait.
I always wanted to do one of those things where you try to beat a record for going on how many, like one sitting for one ride in one day.
Yeah, that was the pose. Just checking the chat. That was the pose I did.
Okay. Matt, what about you with the rides? The top 5, both parts.
Okay, top 5: Guardians, Mr.
Okay.
Toad, Matterhorn, Splash Mountain, and Haunted Mansion.
Ooh.
That's a
It's
good
okay.
list.
Forgot about Matterhorn. Totally
No,
forgot.
you said
You
Matterhorn.
said Matterhorn.
I did say Matterhorn?
Yeah, you did.
Dude,
Mine
Matterhorn
would
kills my
be,
back.
I think I would say Pirates of the Caribbean, Haunted Mansion, Rise of the Resistance, Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln,
Oh wow.
and that last one's tough. I will go with Tiki Room.
Oh, that's
Okay.
another good choice.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Tiki Room.
2 of them are shows. I don't know if they can be considered rides, but I'm throwing
We can do
them.
attractions.
Yeah,
They're
attraction.
attraction. Don't you know you go to the Tiki Room to get to skip the line of the Dole Whip? Come on now.
Now,
Until they
let me
got rid
ask-
Yeah, dude,
I'm going to
Tiki
ask you guys
Room
this.
is
Give me one ride you do not like. Just one.
Snow White.
Easy. Roger Rabbit's cartoon spin.
Yeah.
Easy.
Almost anything in cartoon, or almost anything in like Toonland, or what do they call it?
That was the one. That's the
Toontown.
one thing they have in Toontown.
Toontown. Yeah. Honestly, all the rides in there are kind of eh.
They're putting the Mickey Mouse railroad. I forget the name
Railway.
of that.
Runaway.
Yeah, the railway.
Railway.
You go there. That's going to be the only reason probably why I go there, though.
Yeah.
I always skip
Yeah.
Toontown. Is that kind of unanimous? The Roger Rabbit ride?
No, I say the submarines.
Oh god.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I was
Nemo?
gonna say Snow White, but fuck Nemo.
Yeah, I'm
Oh, hey,
Really?
Snow White is
It's not fun.
Snow White is for the big kids. Fantasyland.
Well, they're
Very-
updating Snow White. It's changing pretty radically, and they're adding a new scene.
Exactly.
They better keep it scary though. If they don't, I'm gonna be upset.
I'm going to put my money on that they're probably going to tone down the scare a little bit.
Boo.
Yay.
Fucking boo. Exactly. Boo is correct. Fucking nonsense.
They should just make Peter Pan's line longer and put more carts
Yeah.
to fixing it.
They should just extend the queue across Fantasyland.
Yeah, just have it just do a giant circle around it.
I still don't get why people love that Peter Pan ride so much.
Because everyone wants to glow in the dark. Come on now, it's the best part.
Bro, you can get
I
down
think-
Winnie the Pooh.
What's the idea?
You get
Yeah,
that
only-
pretty much on any
Only
dark
for a
ride.
little bit. Only on a little bit. Literally, Peter Pan is completely blacklit. No one, I think none of you guys realize that if you haven't noticed. Peter Pan is completely blacklit. It's the only ride I'm pretty sure that's completely blacklit.
I think it's the idea. I think Tinkerbell kind of and Peter Pan for the whole movie just encompasses the idea of Fantasyland. So, and then when someone sees a long line for something, they go, "Oh, that must be a good ride. I'm going to jump on that," and then it just gets longer and longer.
I'm the opposite. Oh, look, that line has 45 minutes. Okay, we'll do something else.
Yeah, that's how I am. Like,
Come back to it in a bit.
now, give me either an idea for an attraction or a land or something. It could be a theming overhaul of a pre-existing ride. What's one thing that you would like to see in the parks? Either park, or if you have an idea for a third park, or even a hotel. What's one thing that you just really want to see happen in the future at Disneyland?
This is a tough one to pin down for me.
the
Even though
corner
it may not seem like it with how quickly I'm going to respond. If the Runaway Railway isn't that great, I want them to bulldoze Toontown and just do what they did in Disney World and extend Fantasyland into it.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah,
a good
I'm down.
idea.
I'm down. Could they make something by Monsters Inc? Because every time we go, Vinnie knows this. It's like basically dead.
Yeah.
Everything basically passed. What's right in front of Monsters Inc? What's the next closest ride?
It was Muppet.
The old Muppet Vision Theater.
Well,
Yeah,
making
it's like
Solar
nothing.
magic now.
Yeah. Fell
Yeah.
out
Oh
of
yeah,
magic.
right. Still not the
Yeah.
same.
Yeah,
I mean, it
it's-
was cool, but it's just like it's just not the same.
When did Philhar Magic
It's a
come
big-
out? I gotta look
I
this
think
up.
it was early 2000s. I want to say like 2002 or something like that. But it's
It's a big
really
Muppet
watered
shaped
down
hole.
from the Disney World experience.
2003.
There's a lot more show elements in the one in Orlando.
Can I say, I remember on Disney Channel when they were promoting the hell out of this ride in 2003, and I was so excited, but we never went to Disney World. And I was just like,
Yeah.
yes. And I saw it at Disneyland, I'm like, that's kind of underwhelming.
Like I said, it's watered down because they don't have a lot of the 4D element effects like the smells and
Mhm.
a lot of the water, and I think there's smoke and there's bubbles and things like that. The screen is a lot smaller, and they also have this effect where there's like the framing of the stage actually rises when everything goes large screen and you're like in the world of the animation where you basically enter where Donald is.
Mhm.
And then it comes down at like a screeching halt when Mickey Mouse comes out and brings everything back to the stage. It's really cool. And the Donald Duck at the end where he crashes through the wall, it's a little bit more elaborate at the Disney World version. So the one they have here, it's cool, but it almost feels like a temporary thing to keep people, going through the theater again. But it doesn't feel like a permanent addition over there, sadly.
Bring back Muppet Vision.
Yeah.
There's a Muppet-shaped hole in my heart, and our magic does not fit into it. I've touched on that before, so I will not do it again.
Yeah, definitely. I remember listening to that and being like, "Oh my god, Vinny's going off on the
know my
people who know the
stance.
Muppet." I know your
You know my
stance.
stance.
Hell, even in our text message, we know the stance on the Muppets.
Yeah,
Yeah, just put something over there, because after you get to there, it's like, oh look, hey, look, there's the people who play like Captain America. Oh, Vinny, I just realized the Captain America meet and greet with Thor walking by. Do you remember that?
you might need to refresh my memory.
Or was it Katie? I can't remember.
It might have been my sister.
So,
Yeah.
back there, they have all like the pictures of the meet and greet the guys who look like Captain America, because Marvel was like part of Disney, but they didn't like make it. There was no Marvel Land yet. That's how far back it was. There wasn't even an idea for Marvel Land. There's still that giant wall after in Frontierland. Frontierland. Yeah, whatever. So they haven't even like thought of Marvel Land at all. So they have him back there. And it's like basically a photo op, and the Thor and Loki are there. And the first problem with Thor and Loki is the guy who plays Thor is too short, and not buff enough, and the guy who plays Loki is like taller than Thor, and it's really weird. That's just a comic book thing for me. But then you see another cast member dressed as Captain America came by, and the Thor is slapping the other cast member, not the guy who's playing Loki, the guy who kind of like walks them around, and he's slapping him like hard, like freaking out, like fanboying. And honestly, he goes, "Hey, look, guys, there's Cap. I know him," and I was dying because everyone in the back probably knows everyone. But the fact that they're sitting there in front of all these kids and you see like Thor fangirling over someone, it was so funny.
I feel like I remember.
Dying.
I remember that. Yeah.
I was dying. It was like that's the part of Disney that I like when someone shows their personality. Not everyone's like in that kind of like cut and dry. Like everyone who's a cast member has like the specific lines they say. They show a little bit more of themselves. It's nice to see that they're not like actually enjoying themselves, and not like scripted. I guess with the word. I guess the word would be scripted. It's kind of nice to show that people have emotions.
The best example of that is the Jungle Cruise. I feel like when they're on script, it is very dry.
Yeah.
Especially if they're not into it. I mean, you can get somebody who is really into the script and it's a fun, enjoyable thing. You just know everything that's coming. But when you get a skipper that just goes off script and it's just
so
all
great.
humor,
Your
all
captain
Make
is
for some of the
100%
best
the ride.
experiences on a Disney ride.
absolutely. And it really boggles my mind that there are people that complain when they go off script and they go to the city hall and they write them up. It's the dumbest thing to me. I say
Wait, what?
it's because people. Oh yeah, it happens a lot of cast members get in trouble. A lot of the skippers they lose their jobs or they get like a check mark, reprimand because
that's bullshit.
they can't go off script or they're not supposed to. And sometimes their leads or whoever the people in the higher up are a little bit more loose with them, and they can go off script, or if they had a long day, and they sometimes will just throw in one of the rides and make it off script. But yeah, sometimes you'll get like a family that is like, oh, that was offensive, or I didn't like that. Or you have like these weird purists that were like, well, Walt had a script and you should follow the script. But I think people always forget that Walt liked change, and while he was running the parks, he changed things constantly. And people kind of want to make Disneyland a museum and not have anything change, which I'm fine with, like keeping some things sacred, but you need to freshen things up and liven it up. And I feel like Jungle Cruise, I hope this movie does well and there's more attention towards the ride and they can really add some more life to it. Because whenever you get a good comedian or somebody who just has a good sense of humor and good timing on that ride, and if the microphones decide to work and the intercom decides to work, it's
for real,
amazing attraction.
Yeah.
So great.
All right, so sacred rides. What would you not change?
I thought we were on
right
rides
now.
we'd add. I thought
Are we still on? Are we still on adding rides? I mean, we could do
Yes,
that.
we are.
We got through Vinnie.
My bad.
Yeah, Matt, why don't you tell us what you have?
Okay, I'm restructuring the whole park right now. So we're gonna start with removing the Fantasyland Theater, or I think that's what it's called, right on the left of it's a small world, and we're gonna put a Beauty and the Beast ride right there. I think that would fit really nicely right there.
The one from Japan?
Yeah, I really like that one. I think that would be really cool over here.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna go over to Nemo. We're gonna scrap that, get it out of there, and we're gonna put an aerial ride right there. And you know what we're going to do with the aerial in California? We're going to go put a Nemo ride there, and it'll work out perfectly.
Oh,
Makes a
you're
lot of
right.
sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Son of a gun.
That's what I would do, basically. I mean, I feel like it's kind of weird to have a Nemo ride where an aerial ride should be, but I get it because of the submarines. It's been there for, 60 years now. But I think for it to work better, I don't know. I just feel like the submarines are kind of dying. I mean, I still see tons of people go on that ride, but I just feel like an aerial ride would just fit better theming wise, and Nemo in California would just work just because of Pixar Pier. So that's what I would do personally.
I think that because it's not 20,000 Leagues anymore, I think if they were to take the submarine ride out, I don't think people would be as upset.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they don't even have to take out the water aspect. They could put like the castle on the water, and you walk over the water to the castle.
So kind of like
Ariel's showroom. So it's like, I don't know. I feel like they could do a lot with that.
Let me ask you this, because if they put Nemo where Little Mermaid is, that means the only attraction, I guess 2 attractions would need retheming is the Silly Symphony swings and the Goofy flight school.
Doug's Sky School.
So those would probably have to be rethemed. Keep everything Pixar themed. What would you change the theming of both of those two?
So I'd do Doug's Sky School and the Golden Zephyr. You could do something Wall-E related, like rocket ships or something.
Mm-hmm.
Is there another ride?
The swings. The
swings? Ooh, that's tough. I mean, they're just basically swings, so you can kind of put anything around.
I feel like you can make that up easily if you wanted to.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Isn't there jumping jellyfish too? Is that
Can
right
we
there?
just stop jumping jellyfish? Because
Nemo.
It's like the smallest thing. You can totally just move that if you wanted to. It takes up like no room.
You could turn it into the Army Men parachute thing.
Ah,
that's
brilliant. Brilliant.
And then isn't there one more there, or is that it?
That's it, I believe.
And that I know in the Imagineering thing, the documentary on Disney Plus, there was a scene that looks like there's a Coco ride coming somewhere.
They're better.
I think,
oh my god, they're better.
Like, I know there's that little restaurant right there. Just right there. Right next to Pixar Pier. It'd be cool right there. I don't know if a ride would fit there, but it'd be cool right there.
I would say that I think that they should do a Coco ride instead of a Finding Nemo where the Little Mermaid is.
I would take that.
Yep.
I would take that. 100%.
Yep, that's fine.
Great. And to add to what you said, Matt, I would say the Beauty and the Beast attraction at Tokyo would be perfect in that corner, but I would also have them add the Be Our Guest restaurant that they have at Disney World. Have in a combined show building.
That'd be great.
Yeah. So you can have both experiences.
God, that'd be so good.
Yeah.
Would be.
Joey, what do you got?
I really like the Beauty and the Beast. I like the Ariel going to Disneyland. I've been a big supporter of that since Pixar Pier got installed. I gotta say,
I'd like to, before you continue, I'd like to raise a point. Remember Joey and Chris when we did our Let's Talk video and how we were not really happy with how Pixar Pier was happening, and now we're sitting here singing its praise?
Yeah.
I'd like to just point that out.
Yep.
That's true.
I was thinking about it the other day. I was like, wait, we used to not be fans of this idea, and now we're just like, oh, this actually turned out pretty okay.
Yeah, we were shitting on it pretty hard.
And now we're here, and we're like, yeah, our tails are between our legs. We're sorry. It's pretty cool.
I think there's things to make it even better.
Yeah.
And I think that they're going to continue adding to it. But what they've done so far is not that bad. I'll go on record to say that.
I honestly forgot the Inside Out ride is there.
Yeah.
What did I
always forget it's there. I'm just like, oh yeah, that exists. Never gone on it. Well, it's there.
Have you been on Flix Flyers?
Yes, I know it's the exact same thing.
Same damn thing.
But this time it has emotion.
It's the same thing.
It's
also, they tell you what thing to go in. They don't let you pick.
God damn it! I have to be sad.
Yeah, they don't let you pick because they don't want people running to things. Because apparently you could run and trip and fall and break your nose or some shit. I don't fucking know, but still.
So, I like the Coco idea where Ariel is. I think the Redwood Forest Trail thing. They should really retheme that area or do something with it. Because I mean, if you want to keep it like a foresty area, like I know people who loved Gravity Falls were like, "Ooh, do something Gravity Falls there," because people love that show still. Like some like little gift shop or something in there. Just do like a mystery shack. That would have been cool. Show's over though. But I don't know. They could do something so much better with that area. I know when we were kids, they had the Brother Bear show and stuff back there, and now that shit's abandoned. So I don't know what they'd do, but they could probably figure something cool to go there.
The problem is that you want to keep it somewhat California themed, unless they drop that theme completely, which there has been rumors that they're thinking about changing that completely.
Yeah.
I don't know that land right there is prime real estate to have something really cool, as well as the Star Wars launch bay, which I heard that they're going to be changing that likely within the next couple of years.
Yeah. Did you see? I know I'm going back to Disney Plus, but the Imagineering story. You see Joe Rohde just pick up launch bay, and it's like, how's Tomorrowland look without that?
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, they're doing something with that.
The great thing about these parks is that there is definitely room to expand on a lot of different things. And like you're saying, the California Adventure, that whole corner over there, while it's really nice and it's a relaxing area and you can have your kids run around, they could be using that area for so much more.
I gotta say though, I've said it once, I'm gonna say it 12 more fucking times. I need a damn Stitch ride. The one in Disney World's gone. The one I wanted to go on my entire life, and now it's gone. I need a new Stitch ride at Disneyland.
How would you have it though?
I remember.
What would you do different?
Like I had the idea of maybe him like a Star Tours type ride, but he hijacks the tour. I like that idea. And I thought, oh, that's cool because you could have a Stitch and like where C-3PO. You could just retheme Star Tours.
Yeah. I was just going to suggest that.
Just retheme Star Tours with Stitch. Just make a bunch more animatronics of Stitch and put them right there. That's all you need to do.
The thing with there are the rumors that they're going to pick up Star Tours and move it over to a couple of the different plots they have for expansions at Galaxy's Edge, which I'm totally for because I love Star Tours. But if they wanted to just rebuild a lot of the pre-existing stuff or that whole ride system at Galaxy's Edge and then use the pre-existing line queue and ride system at Tomorrowland, they could easily theme that as Stitch. You can also make Buzz Lightyear's Astro Blasters a Stitch ride as well.
You could do it,
Yeah.
Disney. Do it. I want
the retheming Astro Blasters kind of makes more sense.
Yeah.
I mean, well, they both make sense, but I feel like with Buzz and being Stitch, you could definitely. I feel like you could do a lot more.
I mean, he has the blasters in the movie, like just.
Yeah, you can easily make that a Stitch ride. Both. I think both of those have to go at some point, though.
Yeah.
They need to. The only thing I see standing in Tomorrowland is Autopia for a while, and Space Mountain. Everything else, I see them slowly phasing out, and putting new things or demolishing and putting new, completely different structures.
You don't think they'd take out Autopia?
What was that?
You don't think they'd take out Autopia?
I think it's going to be one of the last ones to go. I think they're going to keep it for as long as they can, and then they'll gut it. I could be wrong.
I'd rather see them.
It's not even Chevron anymore.
That was the best.
Personality.
I could see them rebranding it to something if they take.
No.
Honestly, I see Tomorrowland and I see everything being gutted but Space Mountain. I see like a complete, like almost how they did with Galaxy's Edge, where they kind of took a dead space that obviously didn't have anything back there. But I could see them taking Tomorrowland and just like getting rid of everything and just doing like the whole thing over again. I could easily see that. Easily.
They could do the whole Tron coaster. They're doing that in Orlando. If it does well over there, I can see them doing it here.
I don't know if they want it at 3 parks. 4 parks?
But they might. You never know. Maybe they do recycle a lot of different things, especially if they're currently in production. They can easily duplicate the parts because they're currently producing them.
Yeah.
That's why they did 2 Little Mermaid rides at the same time. That's why they do a lot of these attractions at the same time, so they can maximize the production and use the same team.
I gotta say, with
Yeah,
Autopia though, I think it makes sense. It would be like one of the last ones they knock out, just because it gets so many people. There's so many people going on. It holds capacity. So
you know how cool it is to be 7 and drive a car? Like, come on now.
It's one of the only places that I can actually drive a car.
You think they'll make it? There's been rumors that Tesla would be a sponsor for it.
Oh my god, I would love to try it. I would love if Tesla just took it over and just made everything electric. You don't have to smell gas.
But I like that smell. I feel like I'm the only one.
I don't mind it too.
Too.
I think it'd be sick. I think it'd be cool.
I get nostalgic for it.
Again, I'm still on the assumption that Tomorrowland's gonna be completely gutted one of these days.
I'm just mad.
Out of nowhere.
You think the theming of Tomorrowland is just going to be gone?
Yes, I think it's completely gone. The name, okay, so Tomorrowland, you have Star Wars getting its own. You have Buzz Lightyear. Okay, you can put that in this beautiful thing called Pixar Pier. You just move it over there. And other than that, it's just Space Mountain, which is like a staple, so you have to have it. Doesn't matter where you put it. If you really wanted to, you could take Tomorrowland and connect it to Galaxy's Edge and just make a Star Wars look like an 8 instead of a weird whatever shape it is now.
What's the name of? Is it Tomorrowland in Shanghai? What do they call it there?
Adventureland?
No, not Adventureland.
So
What's it called?
Not even close.
I'm looking it up now.
Because that could give you maybe an idea of what they do, if they wanted.
I have a burning need to go to every Disney park around the world.
Is it Shanghai or Hong Kong?
No, Shanghai's the one with Tron.
Okay, that's just called Tomorrowland.
No, Shanghai still says it's called Tomorrowland.
Really? They still call it Tomorrowland?
Yeah. There's 2 Trons. There's the Stitch Encounter, the Pepsi E-Stage, Jetpacks, Buzz Lightyear, Planet Rescue, and Avengers Training Initiative.
There's a Stitch Encounter there?
Yeah.
That's what it says.
It's like Crush.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's not the same.
Yeah, it's basically Crush but Stitch. Yikes. Well, actually, it's Stitch is there, but also has Crush, and then it has Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor. Apparently, I guess it's probably like how Oh my God, you guys were just talking about it? Where all the drawings done, the animation station, the animation building. It's probably something like that because isn't that where Turtle Talk with Crush is?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably that, and instead of you go down, you go through all the attractions. or like where you sit in front of a mirror and it tells you who you are or whatever. It's probably that. It's probably just that Stitch in Monsters Inc. If I had to guess.
Hey, Will.
Yeah.
What's the acronym for Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor?
Aha!
Nice. Nice.
Beautiful.
No one caught that probably, or they did and
No,
don't
they're-
notice.
I got it.
Disney did not, but I remember years ago. This was like 15 years ago, and I was a kid, and I would go on the WDW forums, and people were just like talking about different rides, and they were just like short. They had like a lot of shorthand for a lot of the rides, and they kept writing MILF, MILF, MILF. I'm like, what the heck are they talking about? This is so weird. Like, oh yeah, I took the kids to MILF today. I'm like, what the? What?
Yeah,
That
that's
makes sense. Sounds like a pretty fun time if you ask me.
I really okay. So there's one called Jetpacks, and it looks. I mean, it's Tron, so it's all these random colors. But I'm like reading about it. I almost have to look up what it looks like, because the way they describe it sounds like you're literally sitting in a chair and they're flinging you around. Yeah, 2 at a time, fledgling sky pilots don rocket-powered backpacks connected to a giant orb via 16 mechanical arms. Is it a spinny ride? It's probably just a giant spinny ride. I'm hyping it up for no reason.
So
It's like Dumbo.
So Disneyland Paris, it's Tomorrowland's called Discoveryland.
Oh, it's
I like
okay.
that.
It's basically Dumbo. Okay, I'm over it. I thought it was way cooler.
And it's based
So they
off
get-
like the 2,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Or, you know.
They wanted a very what's kind of like a steampunky gosh, what's
Journey to
the
the
word
Center
I'm
of the
looking for?
Earth 5.
Yeah.
What are those stories?
Which-
What are they called?
There's a word I can't. It's
Jules?
not coming to my mind.
No.
Lovecraftian?
Yeah. Is it? Maybe.
Yeah, I believe so. Lovecraft.
As we all look it up now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's based on Jules Verne's stories.
Yeah, Lovecraft. Yeah. I think so.
I hope there's someone watching this that's like yelling at us, like, it's this.
I know.
My dumbass saying 2,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
You're only missing a 0. Calm down.
2000. Yeah, we're not all the way down. Just 2000.
Just 2,000 leagues.
That's where I need to go.
About 10% of the way there.
Yeah, the deep dark in the ocean's too scary. Can't go that far. 2,000 works.
I'm only going down to the point where I don't need to use the lights on my sub.
That's the best part. That's where you get like the funkiest looking fish, sharks. This is completely off topic. I don't know if everyone's big into Shark Week, but there's a guy.
I am very big into it.
Okay, it's not this year. I think it was last year or the year before, where the guy is in Japan and they're like deep sea fishing, and the nets like almost scrape the bottom of like whatever Japan's like bay is, and this guy is in charge of anything that's not what they need to either tag it or see what it is or whatever.
Okay.
So it's a giant fishing vessel, right? Like it's one of those like massive ones, like you see like almost in like the bay, basically.
Mhm.
And so they come up with the nets, and his job is to basically grab. It's a shark, it's a fish, whatever it is, tag it, record it. So there's a time where he's like, sometimes it's really boring, we don't get anything, and sometimes it's like super packed. So he starts off and it's a steady pace, like one. So that by the way they pull it in, by the time he like grabs whatever it is and tags it and like records it, he usually comes back and throws it literally overboard on like this 25-foot. I was even seen like yeet this fish, and it's hilarious to watch him because he yeets them and he doesn't care. He's like, if they lie, whatever. It's not at night, so it's not gonna like hurt him. He's like, hopefully I don't hurt him, but you know, there's no other way to do it unless they're too big. Then he has to slide them down like the belly of the ship. And there was one time where he had like 5 sharks all on like basically water pumps, and he's still running to catch up with the actual net. He's like, I need more hands. I'd be like, anytime. The best is he didn't realize like it was more reality for everyone, so he kept going to the camera and talking, and then going back to the fish, and it was just really hard to go back and forth because he didn't have that like not pronunciation, but like the idea that he has to do a job and tell the people what he's doing. So watching him go back and forth was funny, while the people who are working the ship are like yelling at him in Japanese, like, hey, we have another, and it was so flustered but so cool to watch. I think you found like a new species, but there's some stuff where I've seen it in pictures as like a kid, but I've never like seen it like physically videotaped. It was so cool. Completely off topic. I'm gonna see if I can find it.
You know what? Going back to Tomorrowland, if they take out Autopia, they can take out the submarines. And that's a lot of real estate right there. So they can still do the aerial ride if they want to. Just move it over. Put 2 more rides right next to that. If you take out Launch Bay, that's a whole nother area. Like, we could get like something Big Hero 6 themed if they want to. We could get something actually original again, maybe. What else? I'm trying to think of like other things that aren't Tron for Tomorrowland. For Star Wars.
You know, I always love the idea of them doing a Stark Expo at Tomorrowland as if he kind of came in and did his own thing.
That's kind of what Avengers
but now
this is now.
Yeah, so now the idea of putting anything Marvel there just seems redundant. I think they should just take everything Star Wars out of there, save everything for Galaxy's Edge, whatever they want to do over there. And I think they should either commit to making it like a retro Tomorrowland with a lot of new ideas, fresh ideas, and having Big Hero 6, like Hero has gone in and used his technology to, really showcase what the world in the future could be. Or I think they should just commit to the idea of making it just like space, like retro, like how people viewed sci-fi from the 1950s, and just commit to the space idea, because it's in this really weird limbo of one or the other, and they need to commit to either making it a vision of tomorrow that's like really stylized, or making it like a stylized sci-fi thing.
It'd be really cool. You know how they're working on the Guardians coaster over at Disney World? What if they used that technology and brought it over here and did Big Hero 6 with that?
What? Yeah, go for it. That'd be great.
Because it's just a giant dome, and like you can put whatever video you want on there. Like you could be flying through San Francisco, and like all the seats like swivel, like the whole vehicle swivels, so like it can just be rotating, and it'd be so cool. But they have their
you can also
plans.
do Big Hero 6 with the Star Tours stuff. Like you enter that like weird dimension that they enter in the movie.
Yeah.
There's a lot you can do. A really quick side thing. I mean, with Big Hero 6, I think there's a lot of on potential. There's that whole TV show, which I sadly have not seen one episode of, but I heard it's great. And number 2, it was one of the most enjoyable worlds in Kingdom Hearts 3. I forgot how much I liked those characters, and I like that world. So I'm totally for them exploring things with those characters.
Yeah, how was Kingdom Hearts?
I'm at the last level, and I don't want to say anything because I know Vinnie is a big Kingdom Hearts fan, and
That would be me.
That would be you. So I don't want to ruin anything, but I was very pleasantly surprised. I sat on it for a year. I just played like a couple minutes, and then during the quarantine, have been playing it, and I'm like 90% done, and it is so enjoyable. It's so much fun, especially if you're a Disney fan, and it's really cool because they have very interesting side quests. You can find food for Remy, and you can make dishes, which is like one of the little side collectible things. And then you also have a phone camera, which is called the Gummy Phone, and you can find different hidden Mickeys throughout all the different worlds. Yeah. Which I've gotten them all so far, which is was a lot of work, but a lot of fun too.
Yeah, that's right. So I just looked it up. Disney has like barely any sci-fi properties. Like it's really only Tron, Big Hero 6, and Tomorrowland.
There was a movie I think in the 80s called, it has like a big cult following. I think it's called Black Hole.
It's not on the list I'm looking at, but it probably does exist.
Is it called Black Hole? And then you consider the fact, I mean, I know no, Rocketeer is one thing, but then there was a movie, I'm pretty sure it's called Black Hole. Yeah,
yes,
yeah, the Black Hole.
79.
The one thing that I think a lot of Disney purists would be very upset about, but it's something to consider, is that they have purchased Fox, and a huge property is Alien, that they could potentially put something there. And a lot of people were very fond of an attraction called Alien Encounter at Disney World. Imagine if they were to take that ride concept, bring it over here, but change the alien design to the actual alien from Ridley Scott's film.
Like originally planned?
Yes.
That'd be cool. And then in like 12 years, we can get a re-theme of Stitch.
That's all Joey's gunning for at this point, is just Stitch somewhere.
Please, Disney. Please. That's all I want.
You might get your Stitch renaissance. If this live action is any good, you'll probably see a lot more Stitch in the parks.
Please. Please. I will be very happy. What else? Should we go on to sacred attractions? Was that what you brought up next, Will? Sacred?
What would you not touch ever? Or like, what do you want to go back when you have kids and you have exactly the same?
Tiki Room, Pirates, Haunted Mansion.
Didn't Pirates already get updated?
Yeah.
A couple times. But I think
Pirates got updated.
The idea is that they never take it away. They can do
okay.
upgrades and updates, but
Okay.
still there.
Sense.
Yeah, so Tiki Room, Jungle Cruise, Pirates, Haunted Mansion, Big Thunder. That's it. Oh, yeah. They could change Space Mountain. They can make it better if they want to. They might even replace it. Who knows?
And Matterhorn get bigger stations, so that they can actually have all the bobsleds actually going at one time. Because if you ever Vinnie wasn't there. Actually, Vinnie, were you there when we after the kids left and we had to try to be I don't know, were you there? I don't remember.
I might have been. Maybe.
When we were trying to get on all the big rides, but they all kept breaking down at 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah, I think I was there for that.
And we kept going from we were in the middle of Fantasyland.
It was annoying.
And we were like, okay, what's close? We're like, oh, we'll do this, and then it broke down. Oh, we'll do this, and it broke down. And each of them were random things. And by the time we looped all the way around to all the big rides like Matterhorn, Space Mountain, Big Thunder Mountain, all that stuff. By the time we looped around, we went to Matterhorn was I think the first one. I think it's the closest. I'm pretty sure. And we get there, and they're like, oh yeah, we get to basically the front of the line, basically, pretty close to it. And they're like, oh yeah, so it broke down because our station doesn't actually have enough room for all the sleds we run. I was like, whose genius idea was to have more sleds and not have the station to fix them all? Whose genius idea was that? But yeah, let's have them fix that, because that'd be great.
I've had Big Thunder break on me while I'm waiting at the gate to get in the train three separate times.
Oh God!
I've only had that one time.
Oh my God! Let me just say, I love Thunder. I love Big Thunder, but that happened 3 times in my many years. It actually may seem like a pretty good rate, but it's not. It sucks, and I hate it. I hate it every time. I always try to make it a thing to go on it whenever I'm there. Whenever I'm there after everybody else goes back to the hotel room after the fireworks are over, and I'm just there by myself trying to hit everything I possibly can. When it's always dark, I always make Thunder a big priority, but most of the time when I've done that, it's always broken down and been closed for the rest of the night, and I'm just like, nah.
You know,
I want to ride it at night.
You know, it's the one ride that basically, the one ride I was scared on when it broke down was Goofy's Sky School. Me and Matt were on it.
Oh, I remember that.
Me and Matt were on it, and the cart just stopped, but the rest of the ride kept going. Everyone else's car kept going, except for ours.
Oh my God.
We were just stopped in the middle of the ride, and I'm just like, what
happened?
It was me, Matt, and some father and
These little
daughter,
girls.
and we're just we're trying to make the car go. We're like, what do we do? Because we can see the other cart just coming right up behind us.
Thrust forward.
It was like, is this how
we were
we
stuck
go
on a couple
out?
rides.
Is this how we
Yeah,
go
we
out?
got stuck on a
Goofy
few.
Sky School?
No, we didn't get stuck on Goofy Sky School, but we've been stuck on a few of them.
Me and Vinny have been stuck on what? Well, Small World we don't really get stuck on, but yes, we got stuck on. And then Vinny, what was that
Back
tiny little?
up in Small World.
What was the
far.
train ride? That's like the most kiddiest ride there. What's in the middle?
Casey
Of,
Jr. We got stuck on Casey Jr. for
Yeah.
a long time.
we were going uphill.
Long time.
It was like no,
We were going uphill. It was
No,
the
what
most
it has, it was
uncomfortable
like-
thing ever.
no.
It's like, are you fucking serious? We were at an angle for what felt like maybe like 25 minutes.
Oh, it was
a long
forever.
time.
And
It's
it was like,
oh, kill me.
hey, Vinny, it was all your fault according to your cousin. All your fault.
Yeah, everybody likes to blame shit on me.
It was so. We were sitting there, and if you can imagine, everyone sees like the ride length, yes, like the car size, yes. It's me, it's Vinny, his sister, Alex. Was your mom and dad on it? I don't think so.
I don't think they were in the. I don't know. No, I don't think they were.
No, they weren't. And then it was your aunt and your uncle, and then both your younger cousins. So we were pretty packed in there. We're like, oh, great, we're going to have this all to ourselves. They go, okay, hold on, we're going to throw 3 more people in. We're like, this is fantastic.
Excuse me, what? Yeah, we were cramped in there.
3 random people, and we're like uphill, we're at an angle. It's like 11 o'clock, and the sun just opened up. It's like, oh, God. And like, we're sweating, and we can't get out. And the guys are trying to fix.
I think we're in one of the animal cages too, so it's not like we're outside just like looking up. No, we're in one of the animal cages, so we're packed in. It's tight. It's hot. It was like one of the most uncomfortable experiences of my entire life.
I love the guys trying to fix it. Like, oh, I mean, it's hot, so it might have overheated. But I mean, we should let everyone out, but it might fix in 5 minutes. And that's what they said every 5 minutes. It might fix itself in 5 minutes. I was sitting here like, oh my God, just let us out.
Will it though?
It was so funny. It was so funny. And then getting a backup on a Small World as his dad is pushing the boats in front of us.
We were on the sides of the boat, pulling it against the track.
Fun
trying
fact.
to get us out. Like, no, they do not like it when you do that.
Yeah. Also, fun
They
fact.
came over the speaker and told us to fucking knock it off.
Also, fun fact. The boats back up. They don't stop. It just keeps playing over
Yeah,
and over and over.
the song loops forever.
Never
We were
stops.
stuck in like one room for like what 15 minutes, and then
It
everything
felt like,
stopped
oh,
getting
God.
back.
Yeah,
It
by the
was
time we actually
hell.
started moving, it was like a solid 10, 15 minutes. We're sitting there
was
like,
a-
oh my God.
It was a nightmare.
You can start making a beat off just like the actual metal clacking. Oh my God. It was so funny though. Cause then we were like one of the first like 3 boats stuck, yeah? 3 or 4?
Yeah, one of those.
And then by the time we actually start moving, I look back, there's at least 10 boats behind us.
Yeah,
The whole last scene had boats like bumper to bumper. It was like I've never seen anything like that. And also at the same time, like, how does it get that backed up?
Because they
I was just-
pack that shit unlike Matterhorn.
I was just stunned. I've never thought to myself, oh yeah, Small World totally gets backed up. Never seen it. Now I've lived it.
Dude, all
So I
Yeah,
would
the
have actually
time.
I think the only 2 rides I've ever been stuck on. Actually, no, that's a lie. I got stuck on one at Santa Cruz.
That happens a lot, though.
No, the ride didn't actually start. The mechanism to actually let you out was just like stuck.
Oh, fun.
It was real funny to watch the smallest woman I've ever seen in my life try to let me out. It was pretty funny. Anyway, back to Disneyland.
So yeah, what other rides are sacred?
I mean,
I
you
don't know.
touched on pretty much all of them.
Yeah,
I don't
it
think-
goes without saying that Pirates and Haunted Mansion are like rides like that. I would not want to see ever go away,
I feel
especially since like a lot of the classic animators and Imagineers and Walt worked on those. Especially Pirates is one of the last things he even touched. Granted, he didn't see it open, but I don't want to. I don't mind updating the rides and adding special new lighting and effects and things to make them better. I just don't want to see them take away things from the ride. I don't want to see them ever close down.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Now, let me ask you this. Is there rides that you'd like to see updated, like them change the ending, change the beginning, update some of the animatronics? What rides would those be?
Ooh.
I've
I remember we
seen-
were talking about Me and my mom and my sister were talking about a ride that needed a serious facelift, but I don't remember which one it was. Oh, Peter Pan. No, we were talking about how Peter Pan needed a serious like animatronic update because they're just so worn out.
I mean, they did a really nice update at Disney World. I don't know if you guys saw.
Yeah, but we're not at Disney World.
Yeah, I know that, but they should just do something similar.
Yeah.
I love how the hitchhiking ghosts is done at Disney World. Have any of you guys seen how that's handled?
No.
I have not.
When you're looking at the ghosts, they're very beautifully 3D animated. They don't look 3D animated, but there's a technology where, let's say you're sitting with somebody, the ghost comes out, he flies behind you, and he's like switching your head with like your friends or your sisters or your brothers. Like they're able to do things like that.
That's pretty cool.
Really cool. Yeah, take a look at it. Like just Google YouTube the hitchhiking ghost Disney World. Really cool camera effect.
If only it wasn't in Florida, because then I'd be like, when are we going to Disney World?
Yeah. No,
yeah, it's only across the country.
Cool. I also think
it's only in Florida.
The Jack Sparrow animatronic at the end of the ride, I don't think it looks bad. I know the one in Shanghai is so fluid and looks amazing. I would love for them to update that.
Pirates in Shanghai is
yes.
I can't even find a word for it.
Just yes.
Yeah.
That does it justice.
Yeah.
It's Rise of the Resistance, but pirates. It's that level.
It's
great.
So it's beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah.
One of the main reasons why I want to go to Shanghai.
That's the only reason why I want to go. Is that right?
You know, that doesn't really surprise me, Chris.
I know.
I gotta say that
you're not exactly discreet with your love for Pirates of the Caribbean, and I respect it.
Thank you.
That Jack Sparrow though at the end of the Pirates ride is looking pretty rough.
You know, I saw they must have refurbished or did something the last time I went, which was very close to where the quarantine happened. It was in February, and it seemed like they repainted it or something, and it looked pretty decent. Like it was fixed up, but compared to how it looks in Shanghai and how beautiful that is, there's no comparison. And cool fact, the on the Smuggler's Run, when the animatronic, what's his name?
Hondo?
Hondo, yeah. Hondo Anaka. The animatronic, the skeleton, and his movements were all done from the Jack Sparrow from Shanghai. That was kind of like the test.
Huh.
And the same inside skeletons, movements, computer programs that they used for the Jack Sparrow was used for Hondo for Smuggler's Run. Which is interesting because they're both dreadlocked characters.
That's awesome, though. I wonder if they'll use the technology from the Bell animatronic that they're using over at Tokyo Disney.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if they'll use that like for something else. Cause
I see. That's why I'm okay if they update or move Little Mermaid, because the Ariel looks a little off.
Yeah, I think she
like
looks stiff.
She looks like what?
She looks stiff.
Stiff. Yeah, it's something in the eyes. The animatronic of her at the end with the wedding dress is okay, and the one where she's dancing in the Under the Sea segment is okay, but how she looks in the grotto, it just seems very weird and robotic to me. And when you see how Belle looks, it's night and day.
Yeah.
Night and day. And I really would love to see them carry that over.
Also, the Ursula animatronic is beautiful.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Something that I've wanted, and I don't know if this could fit in Tomorrowland. I don't know if the theming would be correct. I originally wanted this idea for Disney's Hollywood Studios, but they can fit this somewhere. The only problem is it's very similar ride system to Cars Land, and that's why I thought it would be good in Orlando. But I think it'd be awesome if they had the Lit Wax arcade as the facade, and they had the Fix-It Felix Jr. Arcade, and somehow with theming, you enter a room and you're zapped into the world. You're like in the Strip, the Game Central station, in the ride, and then you end up going through a ride very similar to the Cars ride, but it is Sugar Rush. But of course, it veers off. Like it somehow enters into what was the bug game?
Heroes Duty.
Oh yeah.
Heroes Duty, and it jumps from game to game. I think that'd be amazing. I would love
It'd be
to
pretty cool.
have a Wreck-It Ralph, especially since both movies were very successful, and you can incorporate the online aspect of the game. You can incorporate all the Disney princesses, the Star Wars properties, the Marvel properties. You can incorporate so much into that ride, and it would be something spectacular. So I think if they don't do something with that IP, I think it's a huge loss. And using that Cars style of showroom, show building, ride system is perfect. It's like it's made for it.
I know there were the rumors that a Sugar Rush type attraction was going to go where Stitch was at Disney World. That's like
that was
the
a
biggest rumor. But like there's been no news about that area still.
Well, how do you do a Sugar Rush ride and it's not like a racer ride?
Yeah, and I mean it's just a circular theater for Stitch, so it's like
it's not much space. It's not
No.
much space. No. I mean, you could with the Astro Blasters. You could, if you wanted to, make that like a Heroes Duty kind of ride.
that would be
With
cool.
Ralph.
But
Yeah.
also it's another shooter. We don't need that. But that'd be cool, Sugar Rush.
Well, what I was saying is, if they wanted to keep that ride system there and retheme it, because you already have a Star Wars, I mean, not Star Wars, a Toy Story shooter on property.
Yeah.
So right now there's two. So if they wanted to retheme it and make it something different, they could easily at both parks in Tomorrowland, both Tomorrowlands basically, make it a Heroes Duty style game.
But you know what I want them to expand upon? I want them to take the Pizza Planet that they made at Disneyland and actually make it like a Pizza Planet. Can they just do
Mhm.
that? Like actually have like a little arcade in there, like how they used to have over by the gift shop in Tomorrowland. God, what was that?
I like
called?
that idea.
Starcade. They had the Starcade
yeah.
and they closed it like right after Wreck-It Ralph came out. I'm like, why? But it'd be cool if they did that in Pizza Planet.
Hear me out really quick, and you guys tell me if this is a dumb idea. Imagine if instead of Tomorrowland, if you wanted to retheme it, like you're saying, gut it out completely, change it all. Instead of it being called Tomorrowland, they called it something like Digital Land, and it was all video game based things where you have Wreck-It Ralph, you have Tron, and you have like Kingdom Hearts attraction as well. And then you can have different kind of properties that are associated with that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think. Okay, you get rid of. This is obvious. I'm guessing this is assuming Star Tours goes to Galaxy's Edge. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
So
That's a lot of space to only have Tron and like two other rides. Because right now, Tomorrowland has 4 rides if you count Space Mountain?
Sure.
No, it has 5 because you get the spinning rocket Dumbo ride, which is basically they can gut that too. But like,
Okay,
I'm thinking about it.
Imagine if they made Autopia into a Sugar Rush attraction.
I could see that.
that'd
They
be
had
cool.
Tron but they revamp it completely, right?
Yeah,
Then you
yeah.
have Tron in some capacity. You have Kingdom Hearts. They can try to do like an epic Mickey Oswald attraction.
Yeah.
I
could see the pull for it, but it's just the Autopia is going to be like the biggest hang up. Are they willing to scrap Autopia completely to get these things that are more for the next generation? But at the same, it's hard. Like Autopia, it's hard to think that Autopia, like if I bring my kids, Autopia is not going to be there. I think it's one of the things where it's like it's sacred for me. For me, it's sacred. I think they could update it for sure, 100%, make it so much nicer. I don't think the track needs to be that long. I think they should take it more to behind the scenes stuff, not so much you see everything you do. They can make it smaller.
So what if they made it a Sugar Rush attraction? Would you be down for that?
I think the idea of the ride I'd be down for.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think I do that. But it's just weird to think like if you're gonna gut it, I can see. Yeah,
I'm just thinking in terms of how Universal is going to be doing all these Nintendo properties. So,
yeah,
as a reflection of that, if they wanted to rival that, they could do their own
Sonic Land.
thing.
oh God,
Yeah, he was in
Wreck-It Ralph. So boom,
Ralph.
Sonic Land.
They could, if they wanted to, utilize that whole area and make that work. And you can have everything like themed under the umbrella of Wreck-It Ralph. Just not call it that. You can call it like Game Central Station or something, and have Tron in there too, because Tron was still part of that game universe. But then there's also so many different IPs that you can have within that world because they hooked to the internet that it's kind of endless.
roll over a lot of rides for future projects. I'm just thinking, if you gut everything, not counting Space Mountain, if you gut everything, how big actually is that? It doesn't seem that big. Yeah, it doesn't seem that big, but I think it's because the way they built it wasn't the right way, if that makes sense.
Well, because they built it not knowing that they would be adding Space Mountain, not knowing that they'd be adding a lot too. And so keep in mind, there's a lot of cast member areas back there that could be rerouted and made differently.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if they wanted to, they could demolish the building, the store that's attached to Star Tours. You can demolish a bunch of those things and reconfigure that whole area and make it something really special.
Dude, Tomorrowland is bigger than Fantasyland and
it doesn't feel like it.
Frontierland.
No.
Just
it doesn't feel like
land.
It really doesn't feel like it. You walk through and you get Star Tours right next to Buzz Lightyear, and you can like sneeze to the next line basically if it's that crowded. It just feels so tight. And then you get through that part and then it opens up again, and then you're in Autopia. And then there's Space Mountain like over there. I can see how big it is, but just right when you walk in needs to be like changed drastically, because no one likes to go in, and it opens up obviously with whatever rocket ride there is, and then it gets tight and then opens again. It seems really dumb to have it be open and then close and then open again.
Yeah, I mean, look at all that
I
land,
know
though.
Disney purists would hate the idea of them changing it.
Oh my God, they'd hate it.
They'd hate it. But in all honesty, it hasn't been Tomorrowland for a very, very long time. It's just the
Tomorrowland
name.
is right now. Come on now.
What do you mean?
Tomorrowland was literally Tomorrowland was supposed to be the 2000s. That's when they made it.
I think you cut out.
It was, and you either go back and you do it right, or I think you need to change the theming completely. I like the idea of them doing some sort of a digital land. I think if they're going to put something else in its place, I honestly don't know. I like the idea of them doing Big Hero 6, but other than that, I mean, I don't know.
Like, I'm looking at
they're having these conversations there. I'm sure they are.
Oh yeah, they're thinking like 20 years from now probably. They probably have plans for who knows what.
Look at all that land though, just from
Dude,
Space
if you
Mountain
moved
to
Space
the
Mountain
end
all
of
the way
Autopia.
down.
Just look
If you reconfigure Autopia, and we're gonna take off Matt. If you get rid of the submarine ride, you get even all of that land too. If you get rid of Nemo, get rid of that. This is the one thing that bugs me. The monorail doesn't go around the whole land. You see it, and you can follow the track. And it loops around 6 or 7 times, but doesn't actually go into Toontown. The only thing that goes around is the train.
I think the biggest problem with the monorail is that it doesn't stop at the resort at California Adventure.
Also true.
And it passes right by it. There should have been a monorail stop right there, just how they do it at Disney World. It stops at all the resorts.
So great.
Yeah. I think they could potentially do that. They could easily make a monorail station over there. Joey, it looks like from the map, and I guess I never really realized it, it is literally the length of both Frontierland and the whole park, Frontierland and Adventureland.
Yeah.
It's enormous.
Huge.
The Autopia really takes up a huge section. I never really noticed how much.
How much.
Mm-hmm.
And then you realize when you drive it, you see all the forests and stuff because they haven't cut down the trees.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, look, there's an aerial ride right there. And get rid of the lake. Boom. Another ride right there. You could fit 4 rides, probably.
There are those rumors that they're going to do the the Frozen attraction, the whole little Frozen area that they're doing over in Tokyo.
Please, no.
I'm just telling you what's the rumor going back and forth.
I know it's gonna make them money. I know it is.
It's gonna make them a fuck ton of money.
But
I know that
can they
Frozen meet
not?
up, but I just
Can they not?
Please
Can
just go Beauty and the Beast or Ariel. I mean, I like Frozen, but it's so new. It's just so new.
Yeah.
That's the
Tangled.
thing. Yeah, do Tangled. There we go. Give us that.
Tangled would be an amazing attraction.
Yeah, because what they could do is there's like that top part of Autopia where it's like all grass and all that. They can expand that into Fantasyland and call it like expanded Fantasyland and do kind of what they did at Walt Disney World and put some rides over there like Tangled, Beauty and the Beast, I don't know, other princess rides or fairy tale rides over there, and then transition it into Tomorrowland kind of after the Matterhorn.
I think the only problem that they have is that monorail track. It cuts through everything and it'll kill the theming.
Monorail's overrated.
They I know historically it has a lot of significance. I think they should reroute the entire thing.
Yeah, I agree.
Because it doesn't serve the purpose that it used to, especially if they're going to gut out Autopia and the submarines. That whole area is null and void.
The whole what northwest or I don't know what direction, but the whole top right quadrant of the whole park, just brand new.
Yeah, I love the idea of them doing Beauty and the Beast. I like the idea of them doing Tangled. I think that'd be amazing.
Put them next to each other. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, you're and that's what's cool about that is it's still different from the one in Florida. It's still unique.
Yeah, it's not like
Carbon copy.
knockoff or carbon copy basically. I feel like that's a lot of things that the Disneyland has compared to Disney World or in different countries. It's very ours was the original one obviously, but then all the other ones because land is cheaper and they own X, Y, and Z. That's a lot easier for them to make new attractions because they have the land for it, or they can re-roll, or they roll over the attractions because obviously people don't go to them and stuff like that. I feel like Disneyland, it's a lot harder to move everything over. Because I'm looking at it, if you bring all of the Space Mountain all the way down to where Main Street USA is, that saves. So if you just bring everything down, you can literally congest Tomorrowland and make a whole new land if you wanted to.
The thing is, right there, that there's no trees back there like that.
Yeah, no, it's all backlot.
It's all cast member backlot area. Yeah,
Get rid of it. They don't need it. Move it somewhere else.
Who needs a pathway?
You got it.
I mean, that's what
they all cast members. Move everything down. There it is.
You can do that, but I mean, it's very easy. That's what they did for Galaxy's Edge. They need that area. They just reroute it and change it and build it back a little bit. It's possible. All this stuff is possible.
No one goes there. Get rid of that. Put all the cast members back there. Bring Tomorrowland down. Whole new land. You can do it like you can make a giant Fantasyland if you wanted to.
You can't move Space Mountain though.
Just
you can't move
says it. Just pick it up and move it somewhere else.
Take Space Mountain and push it somewhere else.
No. Just push it. It's fine. It'll work. Just get like 20,000 helicopters. Just pick it up and just drop it somewhere else. It'll be fine. Minor damages. What are you talking about? Space Mountain's always on repairs anyway. What's the difference?
Push.
Now, do you think once they do kind of demo Tomorrowland, do you think they'll kind of reroute how you get to Space Mountain?
Yes, 100%.
Like,
100%.
You don't think you'll have to go to like a second floor anymore? You think it'll be like
everything will be on the first floor. It'll just loop around itself. If I had a bet, if they're gonna change Space Mountain where it is, they're gonna get rid of the second floor. They're gonna get rid of all that, and they're just gonna have it loop around itself in a spiral. 100%.
I don't think they're gonna move Space Mountain though. I don't see that happening.
It's gonna stay where it is.
I don't either.
Like, just how to get up to it.
I
that's
can see them.
Because like if they want to get rid of the Captain EO Theater, because that thing's dated. Like it really is.
Got it.
With some attractions, when they change things up, a lot of the times they'll switch out the exits and make those the entrances, and then they'll make a new exit. So it's possible the exit that is currently in place they can change up and make that somehow the queue for the actual attraction.
Mm-hmm.
And then the left side when you're facing the Space Mountain, the left side where you enter, they can use that whole show building and make that something completely different. And that show, or I don't know, they definitely could change how you get in and out of that attraction and use those buildings for something different.
You'll just enter where Star Tours is. They'll do a whole.
Oh my god, that line would be insane.
Hey, this is how you guys are getting the Space Mountain for a little bit while Tomorrowland's gone. Just walk down this hallway till you get to the end, and you know you'll be there.
Yeah, keep walking down this straight hallway.
I wonder if that movie did better if Tomorrowland right now would be different aesthetically.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it would be. It wouldn't be so blue and I don't know.
Gray, white, very, very neutral colors.
Well, they're changing. They've been repainting a lot of the buildings,
Slowly.
and they've changed a lot of the facades in the last month or before the quarantine.
See, and that
Yeah,
that kind of gives me the feeling maybe they're not gonna demo.
Yeah.
You know, just
Yeah, why
'cause
would they
they're
pay
doing
for you
these
to demo
little
it?
touch-ups. Like maybe
think
they'll
they-
gut the rides, but they'll put something else there.
But then again, they do have routine painting that they have to do for the buildings, and they just decided to change up the colors essentially. I mean, the only thing that they've really gone in and changed were the rocks that were in front of the rocket rod. What's that ride called?
The rocket rods, right? No.
Is that what? No. You know what I'm talking about.
Rocket rods, people mover, one of those two.
Whatever the thing is right there in front that spins.
Yeah, the rocks they took out. Everything else, I mean, they're just changing the color of the buildings. It's
Didn't
like
they-
not that big of a deal.
Didn't they put in the little like
The planters.
planter things that like
Yeah,
are
but
reminiscent
that
to, like,
again-
the fountains, but
The planters, I mean, that's a quick little aesthetic thing that people like, and it looks retro and it looks nice. But I mean, that's not going to be the thing they say. Well, we can't now demolish it because we put a planter that took us 20 minutes to install.
that'd be hilarious if they kept up those two walls and the planters and they blocked off everything else and went, this is all you can see.
Yeah, I'd
Nothing
be fine
else.
with that.
This
It's
is all
just
you get for
Tomorrowland now,
for a
deal
little
with
bit. You just get the rocket rods. Welcome to Tomorrowland. That's it. It's just now that this whole thing's happening, it'll be interesting to see when this Tomorrowland project will happen. Because it's gonna happen. It's just
Eventually.
when. So hopefully soon.
Probably thought about it over and over again, but they didn't want to start construction. Like, if there was a magical genie and they said, hey, by the way, from the middle of March to whenever this ends, no one's going to be allowed in your park, I bet you 100% they would demo something. If they knew it was going to be at least almost 3 months, I bet you they would demo something.
Yeah, I feel like they're so close to maybe even... I don't know if they're so close, but I feel like they're getting to the point where they might reopen soon. So it's like... might be too late to try and demo something.
Yeah. Can you imagine if you, like, went down and it'd be like, oh, sorry, there's already a limit on people who are in the actual park. So you had to sit there in line and wait till someone to leave, and then you could go in.
Well, I know at
I'm just trying to-
Shanghai, they're doing reservations. You have to have a reservation to get into the park. You can't just walk in.
I can see that. I was thinking more like Disneyland.
I feel like they're gonna do that over here though too.
It's probably honestly what's gonna happen is they're gonna reserve it, and I bet you they're gonna keep it on. They're not gonna have anyone just walk into the park. You're
Yeah.
probably gonna always have to reserve after this.
I'd say for maybe 2-3 years. I don't think it's just always gonna be reservation because that kills kind of the whole pass holder thing. It kills the whole buying your ticket and going whenever, you know?
It's going to be until everybody feels more comfortable to be out in public and there's not this whole stigma,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which
But I
could
could
be
see-
another year and a half.
Whenever the cure comes out, it'll be back to normal.
Yeah, that's just
Everything will be back to normal.
People right now are just afraid to go in crowds, understandably. So Disney's action is saying, okay, we're going to limit the amount of crowds and the people that you're going to be interacting with. How do you feel? Okay, maybe a little bit better. Maybe I'll consider going to the parks. That's essentially the only reason why they're doing it. It's to keep everybody safe, keep their employees safe, and to make people who want to go feel more comfortable. The moment that is no longer a worry, they're not going to keep that unless it works better for, like, let's say hypothetically, it's a really good system and everything's working smoothly. I doubt that they're going to keep that because they're limiting the amount of people that are purchasing food, purchasing tickets, and purchasing things to buy. You're kind of bottlenecking your
You can always raise the reservation too.
Yeah,
or they can even, and I'm thinking Disneyland, just hypothetically, they can even have like a reserve line. Like if you reserve, you're saying you get to the park at this time, you go to a reserve line, you can go in, so you don't have to wait as long. But then again, at the beginning, everyone's in a line. I doubt if they had a reserve line, it'd probably be twice as long for the people who just walk in.
If it's any way the Rise of Resistance was handled, they need to really rethink how that's done. Imagine if they did that for park entrance.
I'm pretty sure they've been thinking about that now. They've had time.
You can be at the park an hour before opening and still not get on that ride. That's how that was.
And that's why I will not go till 2022 or 2023. Wait for it to die down.
It's a great ride though. It was definitely worth it. I mean, I woke up early. I went once when my sister was in town. It was so much fun, but it was a hassle to just get on one attraction, and we had to stay the entire. I mean, I have an annual pass, so I kind of come and go. But I mean, we had to stay in the park the entire day, which wasn't the worst. But when they call your number, you got to go. So.
Gotta get.
I think they can definitely improve. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go.
No, that was it. I think they can improve that system.
Yeah, I feel like they've probably been working on it this whole time. They're like, we gotta fix this. Cause, geez, I feel like every day it was, okay, everyone hop on your phone. Let's get tickets to Rise of the Resistance. Let's get our spot. It's like.
You have to be in the park. I mean, imagine if you're with your family, right? You have like 3 little kids. You all want to go on the ride. You have to drag your entire family
in the park
and make sure that they're in the park at that time and hope that everybody's online connection works and you're able to log in and do it. I almost feel like, it would have been a better thing if you can reserve the ticket and then also add like 3 or 4 people to your party that maybe aren't in the park. So your family can like stay back. Because it was so damn early. It was so early. And if you have kids, I can't realistically see. I mean, I saw people doing that, but I mean, that's not fun.
I mean, dude, when me and my family always went to Disneyland, we were right there before park opened. We were always just sitting there waiting.
I mean, that's great. But I mean, realistically, for a lot of other families that are there for maybe 1 or 2 days that don't know that they have to go on that one ride. That is the big draw, the big thing that they're advertising everywhere. They don't advertise, hey, you need to wake up super early before the park opens and get there. It's very easily missed. And if they only booked a 2-day vacation, they go to Disneyland, they find out they missed the ride, they go to California Adventure the next day. It's like, oh, okay, we missed our opportunity. And it's not, I don't believe that's fair. I'm waiting for them to institute the fast pass system for that ride. I'm waiting for them to fix the reservation system if that's going to come back when everything reopens.
They need to just open it. Like, stop doing the reservation. Just open it.
Yeah.
Let the line happen.
I think they wanted to bottleneck it and really work out the kinks for the attraction because it's a very there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes, and that first couple months of it being opening was essentially test phases for the attraction. We were like the guinea pigs and testing out if all the animatronics work, if all the ride systems work. And now I feel like, okay, whatever wasn't working smoothly, they can fix it and make it work better, more smoothly. And now they can open it to larger capacity, which means the ride's going to probably do twice the amount of entertain twice the amount of people, which is insane, but that's how it is.
I feel like, well, because like they do it with cars too, right? There's just always going to be a big line.
Yeah.
Like you can't stop it. You made a good ride, so just open it, let people fill in line, and just if it takes a little bit, like you gotta let the immersion happen. I remember they were filling up the like where all the stormtroopers are. They were just filling that up with people, and I'm like, I don't know if you could do that. I know they have like rows for like people to stand, but I feel like when it's empty, it's very immersive.
No, once you're in that stormtrooper room, they give you a moment to kind of hang out and take a picture, and then they take you out to the rooms.
Okay.
It's they have that down pat, but I from what I heard, they didn't want to make the ride full capacity, and that's why they had to have the reservation system so that they can control how many times the ride runs through a cycle throughout the day. If they have everybody lining up and there's people out the door and it's a 3-hour wait, that means they have to let all those people out on the ride. And the ride at that time, because it was so new, I think they didn't want to run it at full capacity right at the beginning. I think they were just test phasing it and trying to figure what worked and what didn't. Mm-hmm. From what I've heard.
At Disney World, do they have the reservation system over there too? Because I don't hear
Yes, and they still had it. They still had it.
Okay. I feel like I just don't hear about it from Florida's end on YouTube or anything. I always hear Disneyland, but I never hear people talk about Florida.
Mm.
It's like, do they have like a different reservation system or something?
No, I think it's the same.
Okay.
I don't know. I heard a lot about it. The ride was still open like a month earlier, though.
Yeah.
So, maybe I don't know the full story. And also, like, most of the people that I follow are Disneyland people, just because I like hearing a lot of the Disneyland news because I go to that park more frequently. So I just wasn't hearing the chatter about the Disney World stuff.
I think we hit everything that we talked about beforehand. You guys should totally follow Team 8-Bit on Instagram. I believe it's Team8_bit. I'm double checking on my phone. Yes, all lowercase. Yeah, go follow them because I have no social media on my personal stuff. So go follow them. Also, their YouTube, Team 8-Bit, all caps, not all caps, capital T, capital B.
Oh, and I'm Chris. You can follow me at ChrisCrossMedia on all socials on YouTube, and you can check out a lot of my work on Cinemassacre.
You can follow me on most platforms at BlueJ Gaming, BLUE, the letter J Gaming. Go follow for art and stuff. Yeah.
And for me, you can follow me on Twitter at 4DG_TV and on YouTube at MixMatt.
All right, so I be Vinnie again, and I'm all over the place under a ton of different names because I'm indecisive. So Twitch, True Random Dumbass, all one word. YouTube, SRD, just the letters. And Instagram, Twitter, SRD on YT. I am moderately active. That's all I must say. It's over.
It's over. Go home. Just Ferris Bueller, everyone.